Hi, my name is Melba from Calgary, Alberta. I've had a huge list of requests to create a video that basically breaks down how to throw a disc backhand in disc golf. So some of the things I'm going to be covering today are how to properly grip a disc, how to throw a backhand throw, where the weight change happens, and what to kind of look for and aim for when you're starting out in disc golf. This is going to be great for beginner to intermediate players, people hoping to drop their strokes, build more confidence, and just have more fun while playing disc golf. For those of you internet trolls out there, if anybody feels like they want to criticize or be mean, please, instead of wasting your time doing that in the comments below, I welcome you to make your own video. The point is to grow the sport and to make everybody feel welcome and break things down so everything's understandable for anybody trying to get into the sport. A little bit about myself. I've been playing disc golf for a few years now. I do have a lot of other passions, so disc golf is kind of my alternate sport. I play when I can. If I played more, I probably would be better, just like most of us. But I've played quite a few tournaments locally, and I've won a few. I've placed in many. I've had 2 aces. One is a tournament ace. That means I won some money out of that. And I was featured on Jomez Pro in the Jomezwomenwhocrush. So I've kind of been around the block. I've have over 20 years of teaching experience in just teaching skills in general. So I know how to break things down for people. Yeah, let's get started. So first off, let's start with what kind of disc you want to start with. Ideally, you want to start actually with a putter. A putter has a very round edge, and I've trained with some of the best. And if you can basically throw a putter straight, you can throw any disc. So train with the putter until you feel confident that you can be consistent in your throw. Everything that you do right will show, and everything that you do wrong will also show. So how you hold a disc. Basically, you want to open up your palm and line up the disc right in the middle of your palm, in between the ring finger and the middle finger, okay? Once it's lined up, you want to rotate your fingers around, put your thumb on top, and your fingers are curled around to the edge of the disc, and your thumb is on top in the middle of the disc. There's a lot of different ways to hold a disc. I'm just going to show you the power grip and stick with one for now, but the most important thing is not having a space in your hand crotch. Should not be a gap. Get that right in there, okay? So line it up, close your hands around, and this is kind of how you should be holding your disc, okay? Next thing, what does it mean to be flat? When you start playing disc golf, a lot of times people are yelling at you, throw flat, throw flat, throw flat. What does that mean, and how do you do it? One of the easiest things to kind of focus on is flat means your disc is flat. This is nose up, this is nose down, and this is flat. So if you can release your disc flat, you're doing magical things. You should not be able to see the emblem and the pattern on the top of your disc when you release your disc. If you can see it with your nose up, then your nose up. And if you see the bottom of your disc, your nose down. This is flat. That's what people mean when they're yelling at you, throw it flat. So the next thing we're going to talk about is positioning and your stance when you're playing disc golf. You want your legs slightly shoulder width apart, a little bit wider, and you want to load your legs because that's where all the power comes from. Weight change goes from back leg to front leg, back leg to front leg. You're imagining you're staying underneath a low ceiling as you're throwing. Back leg to front leg, back leg to front leg, back leg to front leg. A lot of times the reason why people's discs go up is because they go back leg to front leg, back leg to front leg, or they stay vertical the whole time. So get nice and deep, really use those legs because that's where the power comes from, just like any other sport. Back leg to front leg, back leg to front leg. And the next thing to kind of watch for is where your hips are when they start facing the back of the tee pad, and as you pull through, they rotate to the front. So you're doing a full 180 with your hips. Back to the front, back to the front, back leg, front leg, back leg, front leg. And that's the general weight change of when you're throwing a disc. Obviously, there's lots of other things to work on, but if you can just kind of work on these few little things, it's definitely going to step up your game. So those of you who ever watch me teach on the course, you'll notice that I always say the same thing. The way your disc moves or your arm moves, essentially you're doing an elbow slap. This is very, very, very rudimentary, but it's a really good way for beginners and intermediate players to understand. You're elbowing someone and you're slapping them. You can see that there's a line here on my pavement. You also want your disc to follow that trajectory. Elbow, slap. We're not drawing a big C from behind me and around, which is called rounding off. We're following that line of the sidewalk and we're elbowing someone and we're slapping them. And you only ever want to throw at 70 to 90%. Because as soon as you start overpowering your throw, it's called grip locking, and you end up throwing hard to the right. So 70 to 80%, deep squat, hips back, leaning back, elbow, slap, elbow, slap, elbow, slap. Running that disc along a bar table. Pretend there's a beer sliding across that bar table. So you can see here I've simulated this super awesome driving net out of a sheet in my climbing wall to show you some good old-fashioned elbow slap drives with my putter. So this was the first video of hopefully many to come. I know I can't cover everything, so if you do have any questions and you would like some one-on-one lessons and you live in Calgary, feel free to message me on Facebook or Instagram at Melba_Cito. Or if you see me on the disc golf course, I'm usually with my 2 little kids and I got my basket full of discs. So feel free to reach out to me and I can give you more details on how we can set up some lessons and coaching sessions.